Natalie Wood was born in San Francisco, California on July 20, 1938. She was the daughter of Nikolai and Maria Zakharenko, who immigrated to the United States from Russia in the 30s, for a better life. Natalie's mother Maria dreamed of becoming an actress or a ballet dancer in her youth. But her family's difficult financial situation put a strain on those dreams. Instead, Maria held on to those dreams, and seemingly passed them on to her young and impressionable daughter. Natalie later recalled that her only professional training in acting was to watch Hollywood stars from her mother's lap. At the age of 4, Wood landed her first film role, a small part in the 1943 film Happy Land, which happened to be filming in Santa Rosa, California, where she was living at the time. She had won over director Irving Pichel after her mother orchestrated their introduction. Wood's career as a serious actress soon took off with one of her most famous films, Rebel Without a Cause, starring opposite the legendary James Dean. She earned an Academy Award nomination for her work. She went on to appear in many more critically acclaimed films, such as Splendor in the Grass, and the troubled romance musical, West Side Story. The dark-haired doe-eyed child actor from San Francisco had fully morphed into an accomplished actress with many more accolades to her name. She was now a star with a bright future. Natalie Wood earned a lot of press not just for her acting roles, but for her personal life as well. She was heavily featured in movie star fan magazines. Wood had numerous relationships, both public and secret, with her co-stars, colleagues and other stars. She dated famous actors such as Dennis Hopper, Hotel Dynasty heir Nicky Hilton, and even singer Elvis Presley. Her first marriage in the 1950s also attracted much media coverage. The 18-year-old star wed actor Robert Wagner, 8 years her senior, in 1957. The couple became a favorite subject in fan magazines. The marriage, unfortunately, did not last, with the pair splitting up in 1962. Around this time, Wood became romantically involved with Warren Beatty. Despite her overarching fame and wealth, Wood suffered from depression and anxiety. Even after years of therapy, Wood reached a point of deep despair in 1966. She attempted to kill herself by drug overdose that year. As part of her recovery, Wood took a break from making movies. In 1969, she married Richard Gregson, a writer and producer. The couple had a daughter, Natasha, the following year. However, in 1972, Wood divorced Gregson to reunite with Wagner. They remarried and had a daughter named Courtney, in 1974. And in the 70s, she dedicated more of her time and energy to her family than to her career. The couple stayed together until Wood's untimely death in 1981. In 1981, Wood worked on her final film, Brainstorm, a science fiction thriller, with co-star Christopher Walken. In November 1981, the weekend after Thanksgiving, Wood took a trip out to Catalina Island, a popular vacation spot off the coast of Los Angeles, California. She and husband Wagner owned a yacht called the Splendor, and they invited her recent co-star Walken to join them. Captain Dennis Davern was also there. One of Wood's friends, Delphine Mann, later revealed that it was pouring rain that weekend, and because of that, several friends of the couple backed out of going on the trip to Catalina Island. On the second night of the trip, Saturday, November 28th, Wagner, Wood, and Walken had dinner on the island, and then came back to the boat. Wagner and Walken started arguing about Wood's family versus her career, which Mann also said was a struggle Wood was dealing with in her life. Because she loved her children and loved her work, but it was hard to balance them. According to Wagner, Wood went below deck when the men started arguing. They eventually worked things out and Walken went below to his room. When Wagner went below, he couldn't find Wood. When he noticed that the dinghy was gone, he told Dennis that maybe Wood had taken off in the dinghy to the shore. But after calling the shore boat, they found that Wood had not come ashore. After waiting a while, Wagner finally called the Coast Guard and reported Wood as missing. The following morning, Wood's body was found floating near the dinghy in a cove near the island. She was wearing a long nightgown, socks, and a coat. The initial cause of death was ruled an accidental drowning by the Los Angeles County coroner, because Wood couldn't swim and had been drinking. Outside of drowning, Many of the circumstances surrounding Wood's death are unknown. It was never determined how she entered the water. The autopsy report revealed that she had bruises on her body and arms, as well as an abrasion on her left cheek, but no indication as to how or when the injuries occurred. Her blood alcohol content was 0.14%, and there were traces of a motion sickness pill and a painkiller in her bloodstream. The coroner believed Wood to have died around midnight, shortly after she entered the water. The boat's captain, Dennis Davern, had previously stated that Wood and Wagner argued that evening, which Wagner denied at the time. In his memoir Pieces of My Heart, Wagner admitted that he had an argument with Wood before she disappeared. Los Angeles County Coroner Thomas Noguchi ruled the cause of her death to be accidental drowning and hypothermia. According to Noguchi, Wood had been drinking, and she may have slipped while trying to reboard the dinghy. Some objected to this theory, as Wood had a lifelong fear of water and she could not swim, and that she would never have left the yacht on her own. There were 2 witnesses who claimed to have heard a woman's cries for help that night. According to the Washington Post, Marilyn Wayne and an unidentified friend heard a woman calling for help around 11:45 p.m. that night. She said the cries for help stopped around 12:10 a.m. Wayne said she and her friend did not try to help the woman because they heard people from another boat calling out to the woman and telling her that they're coming to get her. Over the years, Wood's turbulent life and its unexpected end have been the subject of numerous books and television programs. Wood's younger sister, Lana Wood, and Dennis Davern, the captain of the Splendor, have been especially outspoken about Wood's death. Davern even co-authored a book about that fateful night, claiming that he had not told the authorities the truth. He later indicated he thought that Wagner was responsible for Wood's death. Although an accidental drowning seemed fully plausible, nagging questions lingered for those paying attention. Noguchi himself raised some of those questions in his 1983 book, Coroner. Why? He wondered. Did Wood slip out to the yacht's stern in the middle of the night and untie the dinghy? Where was she going? And why did it take so long for the men aboard to realize she was gone? In 2009, Davern finally published his long gestating tell-all, Goodbye Natalie, Goodbye Splendor. Davern also divulged that Wood and Walken had been flirting throughout the weekend, and that things turned nasty after they returned to the Splendor after an evening spent drinking on the island. According to Davern, Wagner at one point smashed a wine bottle on the table and yelled at Walken for flirting with his wife. Wood stormed off and slammed the door of her room, with Wagner eventually heading down to confront her, setting off what Davern recalled as an epic fight. He claimed to have heard the dinghy being untied before Wagner returned, tousled and sweating profusely. With Walken in bed for the night, the 2 remaining men stayed up for more drinks. At around 1:30 a.m. Wagner went to check on his wife. He returned with the news that he couldn't find her, prompting Davern to conduct his own search. At that point, the captain recalled, Wagner rejected his suggestions to turn on the floodlights and look for Wood in the water. The actor allegedly said that he didn't want to draw attention to themselves, before they finally radioed for help. In 2011, Davern was among the 700-plus people who signed a petition over the flawed investigation into Wood's death, prompting the LA County Sheriff's Department to reopen the case in November of the same year. In 2012, Los Angeles County Chief Coroner amended Wood's death certificate, and changed the cause of death from accidental drowning, to drowning and other undetermined factors. The amended document included a statement that it is not clearly established how Wood ended up in the water. In 2020, a medical doctor and former intern of Noguchi at the time of Wood's death, stated that the bruises were substantial and fitting for someone who gets thrown out of a boat. He claimed that he made those observations to Noguchi, who reacted strangely, as if he was involved in a cover-up. Officials say that it is possible that Wood was assaulted before she drowned. In February 2018, Wagner was named a person of interest by the police in the investigation. He has denied any involvement. The police stated that they know that Wagner was the last person who was with Wood when she died. But even after almost 4 decades, the police still do not know how Wood ended up in the water. In a recent HBO documentary called Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind, Courtney Wagner and Natasha Gregson Wagner both clearly stated that they do not believe that their father, Robert Wagner, was responsible for their mother's death. After her death, Wood was buried in Westwood Village Memorial Park Cemetery in Los Angeles. International media, photographers, and members of the public tried to attend her funeral from outside the cemetery walls. Among the celebrities who attended the funeral were Frank Sinatra, Elizabeth Taylor, Gregory Peck, and Laurence Olivier. The fact that so many people flocked to pay their last respects to Wood showed that she was a wonderful and accomplished actress who touched the lives of many through her acting. If you have any thoughts or information you'd like to share about Natalie Wood's case, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and we hope you found our video interesting. Like, comment and subscribe for more fascinating unsolved mysteries.